And us. Again, a very warm welcome. Are you ready to win loads of cash every single day?
I'm always ready for cash.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Listen, he said, I'm always ready for cash. Of no course. Long story. Soft life ambassador. Oh, I'm also a soft life ambassador, so I'm always ready to win cash every single day.
Trying to get all the body together, hitting the gym all the time. I'm referring to you.
You've been stalking me on the socials. Godwin, you've been stalking me on the socials?
See, I'm seeing those curves and you are getting snatched, girl.
Thank you. But, okay, let's stay on track. We digress. If you're ready to win loads of cash every single day, listen up. You have the chance to be the proud winner of cash simply by being an avid listener of 3FM 92.7. And here's how you can win cash every single day. Keep your dial on 3FM 92.7 all day. If you have an MTN line, simply dial *439 hash. That's *439 hash. Pick 3FM, which is numbered 1, and you can win some cash. It'll cost you 5 cedis to play, and you can win on the morning show with myself, Johnny, and William. Win again on the mid-morning show with the Urban Blend. And also again with Giovanni and AJ on the 3FM Drive. 3 different times in the day. We already got the ball rolling last month. And this month, we're still hot on the trail. It is *439 hash, *439 hash. And like I always say, if you don't play, you don't win. So play now, *439 hash, pick number 1 for 3FM, and win some money. We're giving away some money to 5 lucky winners. So get your phone out, get playing, *439 hash. Well, this mouth-watering, juicy deal, it is brought to you by Media General in partnership with Radio Entertainment Limited. It's regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Remember, terms and conditions do apply. What are you going to use your money for? I have some big plans this weekend, but the back room still maintains that I will not be participating. We'll take it like that. But you at home, you can participate. *439 hash.
3FM Sunrise.
Godwin, where are you going this summer? You know, Santorini, or what's the plan? Are we going to Germany? Where are we going?
Helen, please relax for me.
Okay. Since you don't have any plans, Godwin, I'm going to take you on a summer vacay, okay? Pack all the fits, okay? Get the sleigh ready because we're going to Kigali and Dubai.
Are you serious?
I am so
Helen,
serious.
Please.
If you are also thinking about where to take your favorite person this summer, Adansi Travels brings you a combo experience as you explore the finest city in Africa, Kigali. And after that, you continue to enjoy the glamour and the fun in Dubai. This 10-day trip will have all you need for a fantastic summer holiday. The sober reflection at the Genocide Museum in Kigali, the buzzing nightlife in Kigali, the site of the marvelous architecture in Dubai, the comfort and luxury at the various hotels, the buffet breakfast, and above all, the fun-filled Adansi at 10 party with a live performance from Samini at the Dubai Desert. It is all too good to miss. You get to experience all of this at a cool rate of $1,650. This covers your flight, hotel, visa, your transport, and so much more. Departures from Accra, they happen on the 11th of August, the 13th of August, and the 25th of August. It's your choice. You choose which date works best for you. Book your slot now. Visit www.adansitravels.com or call on the following numbers. 055 631 0404 or call on 0552 648 267. Adanse at 10. It is a vibe. Book now to feel the beauty of life with Adanse. Now imagine touring the landmark sites of Joburg and Cape Town. Imagine tasting wines from the wine cellars of the most exclusive Cape Town wineries. Imagine the city tours, the shopping expeditions. Godwin, I know you like that. You love to shop, don't you?
Of course.
Of course. Who doesn't? The delicious food, the networking opportunities, and so much more. Imagine the non-stop fun and memories to be made. Well, imagine no more. The ultimate getaway to South Africa is here. I'm also taking Johnny Hughes. He's been fantastic all year. He deserves it. Wine kakra, getaway kakra, enjoyment kakra, naya fair. Let's discover South Africa with 3FM 92.7 and the South African Airlines from the 21st of October to the 28th of October. It's the 3FM Getaway. Discover South Africa with us. For 7 magical days, we explore 2 incredible parts of South Africa with an all-inclusive trip. The tour package includes your visa facilitation, return flights to Accra, round trip to Cape Town and Joburg, hotel accommodation, breakfast and lunch, exclusive tour of winelands, lots of wine tasting. Some of these places I can't even pronounce it, but we'll be there. Stellenbosch will be there. We'll be there. And we'll be touring Cape Town, Joburg. We'll have an exclusive access for you to the Grand Wine X event at the Sandton Convention Center. There'll be a guided shopping tour, and you get to see all of the wonderful tourist sites. This sounds like non-stop excitement. I can't wait. Be part of this exclusive getaway from the 21st to the 28th of October. Let me give you a breakdown of the prices. Single occupancy will set you back some $2,699. Double occupancy, $2,399. We also have a special rate for couples. So please call 053-110-927 right now to be part of a trip of a lifetime. 053-110-927. It's the 3FM Getaway. Come and discover South Africa. The 3FM Getaway is powered by 3FM 92.7 in partnership with South African Airways and supported by TV3.
3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise. Wishing you happy Founders Day. 92.7 3FM. Wishing you happy Founders Day.
Well, there is also something exciting coming up. It is the 2023 US-Ghana Business Expo. It's happening from the 10th to the 11th of August, 2023 at the Labadi Beach Hotel, 9 a.m. each day. Again, on the 10th of August and the 11th of August. The American Chamber of Commerce in Ghana, the U.S. Embassy in Ghana, U.S. Commercial Service, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C., will from August 10 and 11 host the 2023 US-Ghana Business Expo at the Labadi Beach Hotel from 9 a.m. each day. Held under the theme, Leveraging US-Ghana Trade Relations for Growth and Prosperity, the expo will feature keynote addresses from senior government of Ghana and U.S. officials and panel discussions on pertinent issues that will prioritize opportunities to form new partnerships between the U.S. and Ghanaian companies. The Trade Pavilion will have over 40 companies showcasing visiting U.S. companies, trade associations, and local companies from various industries. You can visit www.amchamghana.org. That's amchamghana.org to register for free admission. This expo is sponsored by Delta Airlines, Cosmos Energy, Avis Ghana, Cargill, and All Star Insurance Brokers. But do remember to keep on playing. It is star 439 hash. If you don't play, you don't win.
92.73 FM, wishing you happy Founders Day. 3 FM Sunrise, wishing you happy Founders Day.
Well, let's get stuck straight in. You've already heard Godwin's voice this morning, and we've already mentioned that we're going to be getting into that piece he put together, the documentary titled My Period Is Not a Shame. Abigail Aso Asante is here again, second time this week, I believe. Good to see you, Aso. She is the GNUS, that's how they pronounce it, GNUS Women's Commissioner, and she's also lending her voice to this very important discussion. So without further ado, let's get into that documentary. When we come back, we'll have a discussion with Godwin and Aso. This one, Godwin, introduce it for us. It's called
My Period Is Not a Shame.
All right.
3FM 92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio. 3FM 92.7.
Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise. 92.73 FM, wishing you happy Founders Day.
For us, one more time, what is the
My
documentary?
Period Is Not a Shame, Helen.
All right, let's do this.
School. Mini Pado, Sawono, so made the Quabiana, me was say, Massage, I'm a ferry.
3FM 92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise.
Menstruation is a very special time in every girl's life. For menstruating women and girls living in developed countries, it's not difficult to find sanitary pads or tampons. However, in most rural areas in Ghana, tracking down feminine hygiene products is a constant struggle. I am en route to Amantim, a village in Techuma North in the Bono East region of Ghana, to meet a young girl who has not been to school today because she is on her period.
Benegisa Boatima is one of the girls in the Kokoko Basic School, and I've been told she's not been able to come to school today because she's in her menstruation period. I've been tracking for God knows how many minutes, and I'm still tracking to meet her.
16-year-old Watima Benedicta was all about her house chores when I arrived at her home. She's not a happy girl because she's on a period and cannot afford a sanitary pad. She resorts to using rags.
I'm sorry, I'm not my menses. Many pardons so Mammy Suiniska. Hope it to be a mammy. See, me soon, Saguna, me soon, so maybe me could school Matanasia. A bit to me for a French woman for the best room, and mean see my uncle.
It was time to change her used rag, and she did not hesitate to show me how she goes about it. For years, whenever Benedicta's period began, she would grab a piece of old cloth she kept for the purpose, fold it into layers, and stuff it into her underwear. The rag looks worn out and has blood stains on it, but that is the only alternative available. Although she's not comfortable with the rags, she's forced to use them because her mother cannot afford the disposable parts. She's been using rags since she was 14 years, something her mother taught her. She is unable to recall the last time she used disposable sanitary parts.
From our mom store behind her motombi. See, maybe we'll be cookroma manano or consonant man who need dear. We soon sang. So there be a madam to my gonia. More than about more, it's me money for. Before I say me, I'm say. Mabo for number seeing. Come in, you'll be my boy, my partner. Come pay, came my debut much me a school.
She will not be attending school this week because she once soiled her school uniform during lessons in class because she used a rag. Her male colleagues mocked her, and since then, she's been staying at home until her monthly flow is over. She does this every month. Menstruation is a monthly natural process for a girl child, but for Benedicta, it is a source of pain and shame.
Dealing with menstruation is often a thorn in the side to most girls from disadvantaged communities. This natural process comes as a problem to women and girls, especially those in Techiman and Kokroko. The exposure to health risks cannot be underestimated, and in some cases, schoolgirls drop out of school. Now, in order to curtail the flow of a monthly period, some of the girls here use anything from rags, old clothes, toilet papers, even baby diapers, or literally anything that can absorb the flow. 16-year-old Benedicta Watima, for instance, is at home today instead of being in the classroom. She's at the moment experiencing her monthly flow and also wearing a rag to absorb the flow because she cannot afford a pad. She says this happens every month and she stays at home in a week. This means she misses the syllables, she misses classroom activities, which is a big worry.
How are you?
We are fine, thank you.
I visited Benedicta's school the next morning. It was a Wednesday and classes were already in session, but she's absent today too. Surprisingly, Benedicta is not the only girl in the Kokroko DA Basic School who faces challenges during her monthly menstrual periods. Her friend, Badombie Elsie, also shares that she had to stay out of school for a week when her first period came. She neither had sanitary pads nor tampons. She uses napkins or rags.
My mother don't have such money for me. Every month always be giving me to go and buy pad. Sometimes when I buy 1 month, I'll use it baby to living with only 2. So I have to buy the next month, but there is no less money for me to buy. So I have to use rag to protect myself for the following month. I've never used rag to come to class because I always feel sure that maybe you can disgrace yourself in public. And our classmates, when they see something like that, they always be telling each other, then laughing at you. So I always feel sure to always use that one. When I'm in my period without pad, I always stay at home for 1 week.
The girls here do not have hygiene facilities in school, so they cannot change their clothes easily. As a result, they wear over-soaked wet clothes all day, unable to concentrate. Sometimes it's so bad, they just leave and go home missing school activities. Some force themselves to wait until the end of the school day to change their rags at home. Prospera, 15 years, is one of them. But she does that to also escape derision from her male classmates. She adds that other girls in her village are not any better. When their periods appear, they go through the same trepidations.
Young for babies who are Moyesa. Go on, is it to make us say? A 3 times 7 bar, who are none of my mini scout the man. Into also you soon to Magu. And I be also into Maguno be soon. Or Felice be of a bus kuma my yen hunting on farmer. I also did Tinefi. And I be so of the Jewish kuma, not say Yanoa. Because you soon to Magu so be or science through. So, Baba. Yes, I saw a dinner teacher nature of a banner. I trimmed in 1 tiasi.
She could not complete her 7-day cycle without getting stained, as the rags always shift from where she stuffed them.
Number C, me so she 3 times. First one, me so she any send my room mojam. Second one, number Celesi. Nam do omo afra. Third one, nam the seminar I can number C. Nam dia hata yum. Sinebeya emu ninya nunyina beko.
Something new to your system.
A teacher at the Kokoko DA Basic School, Nanakosa Akore, is fully aware of their struggles. He sometimes gives them clothes to cover up their soiled uniforms, or he sends them home.
When they get their menses and they get up, mostly we saw blood on their uniform. At times I call one madam to bring the cloth to cover her before she get home. It's hard because we don't have any supermarket here, so it's difficult. It is difficult for them to buy when they have their menses because they don't have pad and they use the rag, so they stop schooling till the blood stop. It is worrying. I want government or any NGO who will come to our aid to supply us sanitary pad.
Benedicta, Prospera, and Elsie are not the only ones who suffer from period poverty. There are a lot of girls and women in their shoes who also cannot afford and therefore do not have access to hygienic sanitary products.
3FM 92.7.
Dealing with menstruation in disadvantaged communities like Kokroko is often a headache for most of the girls here.
This is unacceptable.
Period.
The situation here has dragged many girls into transactional sex in order to get access to sanitary pads.
The rate is very alarming, and the condition that comes with it, beyond the issue of they even have to beg for or have to have a sexual relationship with people to be able to afford it. Their right to education is also at stake because of some kind of stigma that they have to go through in school, and then also the discomfort that they go through, and some of them also go through pain and all of that. So if you look at all these, and you don't even provide the basic need for them to be able to go through that period, then it's time to reason that it's a serious issue that we should not take for granted, because the consequences would have a greater effect on them. If it is also having effect on children, we are not doing anything about it. We can also look at it that, no, the policy environment of this country is silent on what we need to do to address those issues. Therefore, their right to education or their right to health is affected by it, then of course, why not? We can look at it. Once the policy environment is silent, we can by extension say that it's abuse of right. So what we need to do is to have a comprehensive policy to address that in our school system so that their health will be catered for, and then their right to education would also be pursued. So we need to make a deliberate policy to see how best we can make some of these facilities free and available to our children.
I meet young girls who have to sleep around for these parts, and some of them have to do abortions or have to keep their pregnancy because they had to sleep for some of these things, and it means that their future would not go as planned. They have another child to feed and all of that. It's sad to be able to see some of these things. We've been to places where when we give them the pass, they say things like, I need to keep this for a special day, and that I also use my rags and the toilet rolls and the other things, for the meantime. And some of them can't come to school, they can't go to church, they can't go to special events, and they just have to keep on waiting till there's a solution. I think that we can do better than that. And so we do advocate that the taxes on parts should be taken off, import duty and all of that. But beyond that, we need to have a discussion on how we are going to make parts more affordable so that the average person can get it at a fraction of their income.
Lack of access to basic menstrual products and the public shaming of menstruating girls deprives many female students of access to educational opportunities. This also puts them at risk of child marriage, a major problem in rural Ghana. It's common here in Kokroko. Jennifer Asamoah is a school dropout and a mother of two. She's a victim of period poverty. The 19-year-old described life as tough for her. She's been using this white cloth as a remedy to sanitary pad. Period pain is a tough one for women who experience it. Having to experience the pain and unable to access menstrual hygiene products makes life unbearable for her. Shockingly, she tells me when she uses all her white clothes, she resorts to using her baby's diaper.
Say wanya pad and say into mana be on pampers no otimi use be a miniska or hammer 20 years me use in Sagon. Me use to Messi, Missiana Mediago.
Asante Comfort is also used to the white cloth and does not really bother on getting a sanitary pad.
My use to my go 7 years. Me mom dem use so air and Sagumaham. Me my used to a nono.
Like a majority of the young girls in Kokroko, using clothes and rags for feminine hygiene, washing them with soap and drying them in sunlight can be dangerous. According to health experts, poor menstrual health is the reason why reproductive tract infections are 60% more common among women who use unhygienic materials. It's common among girls and women in Kokroko, a hard-to-reach area, yet with no health center. The only clinic here is yet to be operationalized.
This is actually a facility that could have sustained patients who come in here, but this entire space has been abandoned and residents here do not have access to quality health care.
Most of the girls and women who suffer from poor menstrual hygiene infections will have to think of a 45-minute journey to a neighboring town called Arowa through bad roads to see a doctor. Commercial vehicles hardly come here. I have come to Arowa to see how dire the situation on menstrual hygiene can be. A physician assistant at the Arowa Health Center, Atta Mustafa, in a month takes care of not less than 300 women and girls from Kokroko with vaginal candidiasis, pelvic inflammatory diseases, bacterial vaginosis, among others.
Other things that we've seen are rashes. Like some rashes, they are perineums. They've been using rags, but the challenge is whether the rags are clean. So it's just the hygiene implications that we are worried. So using something that is unhygienic down there can predispose them to a lot of sicknesses like white, vaginosis, and a whole lot of things. For the OPD, we record a lot of cases over here.
92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
And that was a little piece of Godwin's documentary, My Period Is Not a Shame. He's still in the studio with us this morning, along with Abigail Aso Asante, Aso as she prefers to be called, GNU's Women's Commissioner. Again, good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, even from the trailer, Godwin, right from the trailer, I was very sad about the state of affairs, because the year is 2023 and it's something that still many young girls and young women have to contend with, not being able to purchase sanitary pads to use during that time of the month. And you know that come what may, for most women, young ladies, young girls, your period will come, and it's not something that you can particularly halt, unless of course you become pregnant and you have some reprieve for 9 months. Yeah. For you, what was what were you expecting ahead of doing the documentary? Because of course you don't have the, shall I say, privilege of going through menstruation. Were there some ideas that you already had, preconceived ideas that you had that were dispelled, or were you reasonably informed? Do you think you know a lot about menstruation and periods?
Well, I know about it because when I was a child, somewhere around 11, 10, 8, thereabout, my mom used to send me to go and buy her sanitary pads from the pharmacy.
I see.
So I had an idea about it. First, I didn't know what it was, but you know, growing up, you get to learn about reproductive health and you get to know of all of those things. But when I was traveling to Techiman, I went there purposely for the High on Glue documentary. I'm sure you recall that.
I do indeed.
And when I went to the community, I started speaking to the ladies on some of the things that are really bothering them there. And then the sanitary pad issue came on board. So I looked for this particular girl who had missed school for about 3 days, and I had to speak to her to get to know exactly what the challenges were. And she mentioned of the fact that she didn't want to come to school because she uses rags, and anytime she comes to school and it shifts a little, she gets to stain her uniform and the male colleagues will mock her, or some of her colleague female students, you understand? So it's only their teacher who will sometimes, you know, help them with a cloth to cover themselves, or a female teacher who has a sanitary pad that can afford to them to use for some time. But then it wasn't just that particular lady. When you go to the school, there are a number of girls. It's like a norm to most of the girls in the community. Anytime they are in their period, they have to use the rags to conceal it.
And as we saw, a consequence is missing school, the embarrassment, you know what it's like, the stigma as well. Very sad. So this is something that is also quite near and dear to your heart. What did you make of the documentary? And I'm sure it definitely touched a nerve or a chord with you.
Yeah, after watching as I was watching, I got very emotional, because most of us do not know how serious some ladies are going through, how serious it is for some ladies that are going through having access to the sanitary pad to keep themselves. We have been talking about it, and I feel it is as a result of the import tax on the sanitary pad that has inflated the prices on sanitary pad, and has become very difficult for some ladies to afford. And sometime I was talking about this particular issue with some few ladies, and there are a lot of societies that do donation to orphanage, but because of the prices, they are not even able to buy them to do the donation. And
I see. So even the benevolent, bodies, groups who initially were able to buy in bulk, like we see, and donate. They are finding it difficult to even make donations.
Tracy Success, her Brave Pad, she used to share the sanitary pads for free, and she has been running projects in the northern region to share to the deprived areas. But because of the inflation on the sanitary pad, the prices that has risen, she's not able to do that again, and now she's compelled to sell for you to buy, and then you get some boxes for free. A lot of the sanitary pad brands are also not able to grant sponsorship. During the International Menstrual Hygiene Day, a lot of women's commissioners and NGOs had plans and were waiting to get sponsorship to share sanitary pads to as many as they were supposed to. But because of the import tax and the inflation, they are not able to buy to meet that expectation, and that is what has resulted in all of these things. If I don't have access to sanitary pad, how do I keep myself to go to school to attain education? Sometimes even as they are in their period, some of them are even compelled to be in a certain relationship with some men, to have an affair with them, because they'll be given money to buy basic needs like sanitary pad, and it's very disheartening, Yes,
I agree.
Yes, as our brother has taken upon himself, we too, some of the women's commissioners and women-related societies are also championing the cause. I think that we all have to come together and then make the government hear our voices, so that at least they will scrap the tax
on there. Well, let's add some more voices to this conversation. Lily Pearl Baba Otu is the founder of Bridge for Equity Ghana. She joins us via Zoom. You can watch her on Facebook Live. We're streaming live this morning. Lily Pearl, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Ellen.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm doing very well. I'm excited about the conversation that's ongoing.
Lovely. And I'm sure you've had a chance to watch Godwin's documentary, My Period is Not a Shame. What did you make of the documentary, first and foremost? Was there anything that surprised you? And also, I'll have you weigh in on calls to scrap the luxury tax on menstrual hygiene products. Is it a call in futility?
Okay, so about Godwin's documentary, it really excites me that we are getting a lot of media attention. It really excites me that journalists are getting to understand the points from which we come. And I'm very excited that people are learning about the dire situation in our communities. And this has nothing to do with just the rural communities. Even in Accra itself, there are lots of women, even working class ladies, who go through this issue. And but I wasn't surprised. Nothing in the documentary was surprising to me. We've seen the worst of it being banana leaves. There are girls who use plantain and banana leaves as sanitary pads because they do not even.
Lily Pearl, not to cut you. Yes, I can hear. Not to cut you. You mentioned banana leaves and all of that. Where did you encounter that?
In Dambai.
Okay.
Yeah, in Dambai. So there are girls in Dambai who use banana leaves and plantain leaves as substitute because they cannot even afford to use the rags that we see as rags. They can't afford to use. They don't even have that. They are clothes as they are clothes. They don't have the luxury of using rags. So nothing in there surprised me. It just excited me that the conversation, is ongoing.
Right. And also with the calls to scrap the luxury tax on menstrual products, I was asking if you think that's a call in futility, because it's a conversation that's been going on for a very long time, and I'm not sure if officialdom is tuned in, is dialing in.
Yeah, so when it comes to the taxes on sanitary pads, we will have to be careful on how we call for government to scrap the taxes, because over the years, when we also started, we thought the problem had to do with the taxes. So we wanted government to remove the taxes. But as time went on and as we grew in our advocacy, we realized that the problem is not necessarily coming from the taxes, because governments can today decide to remove the 20% tax, the VAT, all the 17 other taxes that CDD found out. But then who regulates who to reduce the prices? Who is going to the market to regulate the prices? We know how fuel has reduced in some time, and we did not see its effects, and nobody was there to regulate these things. What we are advocating for, what we have come to realize throughout the years of advocacy, is that governments should enable local production, remove taxes on local production, remove taxes on the importation of the raw materials for local production, and rather increase taxes for importation of sanitary pads, so that we also fall into the Made in Ghana agenda, and so that it makes access also easy. One of the girls spoke about the fact that she wants to buy it sometimes, but she doesn't have access, right? So she has to give the money to somebody to buy it from town and bring it. If every district had a local sanitary pad production, that will make access easier, and I think it will make the prices also better. And government should also substitute. I mean, this should be something that government should be able to do for free or substitute, because menstruation is like food.
That's right.
You don't have a choice. It has to come. You can't control it. Sometimes you can control eating, right? But you can't control menstruation. This is something that 50% or more than 50% of your population goes through, and it should have the attention that it needs.
Lily-Pearl, I like that perspective. You say even beyond the scrapping of the taxes on these menstrual hygiene products, it should be a multi-layered conversation. It's not enough to just remove the taxes, because then, sellers will slap on some more fees onto these products, and we still will not be able to afford said products. You say it's time for government to concentrate on local production. This is something that 50% or more of the population goes through at some point in time in their lives. And I think that is something that government should really be listening to, because even beyond that, making it affordable or even free, or providing jobs for the people. Government talks about one district, one factory. This is something that would help a lot of young women because of the adverse effects. And also, you were giving us some insights as well as the documentary, Godwin, that it's a fact that because of unavailability of funds to purchase these menstrual hygiene products, young girls will sell just about anything, including their own bodies, to be able to go through the cycle with some type of dignity. And that is really at the core of this documentary, Godwin, the dignity of these young women. Is that something that you saw they were grappling with, having to just have some pride about yourself? You don't feel confident, you can't go to school, and that was a major concern for these young girls.
Exactly. And before I even go to that, we know that the AGI mentioned that if the government should scrap the taxes on the sanitary part,
indeed,
it will actually go in a long way to affect the economy. And when we spoke to the CEO of the Association of Ghana Industries, which is the AGI, Seth Chum Akwabwa, he said that the agitation for the removal of taxes on sanitary pads is strong, and they are not against it, but what they are against is the removing of all taxes, including taxes on imported finished products. And I think Lily-Pearl raised something around that. He also went further to say that if there's a policy that the taxes on locally produced items, taxes on raw materials that are brought into the country to further process to get parts are removed, they will say hallelujah to that. So generally what he's trying to say is that it's not like they are against the reduction on the prices of sanitary pads, but then they believe that if there's a reduction on import duties and all of that, they will be happy about it. And it's not like they are against, the government giving free access of sanitary pads to girls, especially those in schools. Yes, now talking about the health implications over there in the community. Usually when a girl is menstruating, you need to get a clean place where you can even go to change your pads. And it is also said that according to studies, for a girl who is menstruating, you have to change your pattern every 4 hours. And for that particular community where they don't even have access to sanitary pads nor a hygienic place where they can go to exchange their pads, they are forced to press themselves, leave the rag stuck in there for hours for the whole day, even if it's soaked, heavily soaked, till they close for, let's say, about school starts around 8 a.m. to like 3 p.m., where they'll have to walk for about 30 minutes or an hour to get to home before they can take it off. And when they get to the house, they take it out, wash it. There was a girl who was demonstrating how she washes it to me with hot water. So she washes it thrice, first with hot water, second with powder soap, and then with a bar of soap later, and then dry it in the sunlight. And according to a physician assistant in a nearby community. Mind you, the community where I did the story from doesn't have a health facility.
Health facility?
No. They'll have to travel about 45 minutes to a neighboring town called Arowa. And according to the physician assistant there, they receive menstrual hygiene health implications. About 300 girls from Kokroko come in there to, sort medical attention.
I saw one of the women even mention that whenever she uses the cloth, she experiences some rashes down there. And I think that this particular issue is really doing a lot of harm. The infections they may contract, we have to critically look at this particular issue, and then we have to put our hands on decks to support all of those people experiencing this, because they do not even have the money to buy the sanitary pad when they get infected. It is the same money they may need to cure themselves,
and they won't have a hospital or a health facility to even rush to. So you have a cycle there where it's not looking great. There's no health facility. You don't have money to buy a sanitary pad. You're using rags, and in effect, you're also getting
and they also have terrible roads.
Oh boy!
So for pregnant women in the community who are in labor, some of them die on the way, or they lose their babies, because you don't have cars coming to the community often, because the vehicles that come there easily get issues. So they come and then they spoil somewhere along the road, and they'll have to call a mechanic from a different town to come in there. So when in that particular community, you have the local, those who, they assist with childbirth delivery.
The midwives.
The local ones. So the Arowa community has actually, taken some of the local people, taking them under training to be able to assist, because the situation is beyond them. That's the only thing they can do. Imagine you in labor and you have to travel through bumpy roads for about 45 minutes to another town just to be able to deliver. Really heartbreaking.
Well, time check, it is some 17 minutes past the hour of 8. You're still live here on 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We're talking about Godwin Assedebe's documentary, My Period Is Not a Shame, and its ensuing themes. Abigail Aso Asante is in studio with us. She is the G-News Women's Commissioner. And we also have on Zoom Lily Pearl Baba Otu. She's the founder of Bridge for Equity Ghana. Now, during the vetting of now Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo, she made some comments about sanitary pads and who it should be possibly subsidized for. She says that for little children, it should be tax-free. But for working females, it shouldn't be tax-free. Lily Pearl, I come to you very quickly. I see you almost cringing there on the screen. Working ladies, they said we should figure it out on our own. We have the funds for it. But as you and Aso have actually shared, it's not just our sisters and young ones and cousins in some of these deprived areas who are unable to afford it. Some of us actually working. Aso says, it's very true.
Because myself, I used to buy sanitary pad in bulk, plenty, then it would be there.
Oh, then you were cash mama in bulk.
Yes,
right.
Bulk, yes. But now I buy one.
Lily Pearl, can you also identify with this buying it one?
I have switched from sanitary pads. I use the menstrual cups now because
I see.
It's just too expensive.
I see.
It's expensive.
Yes, it is.
It's expensive.
Because on average,
I don't use pads anymore.
I see. I mean, we had one lady who came and educated us about the menstrual cup. I still haven't found the courage to venture in that place. So, Lily Pearl will speak off the record after this discussion. But on average, how much is it even going for these days? You have some local brands and some imported brands. For the local brands, is it gone over 25?
Yes, 25 cedis.
25 cedis. If you are somebody who has been using the imported brands, you're looking at 30 cedis plus
35,
37. For some ladies, you use 2 of those packs. Some people even 3, 4.
Yes. If you are supposed to change 4 times in a day, and some of the sanitary pad like Yas has 12 pieces in it, so you are supposed to use 4 within a day. And you menstruate 7 days.
7 days.
By the time you are done within a week, 4 parts are already gone.
Yes, and because there's such a disparity in how many days for some people, the type of flow, depending on. So for some women, it's a very expensive time of the month. But Lady Pearl, what do you make of that?
Okay, when it comes to the working class, people think that you should be able to afford 100 cedis a month for sanitary pads. It's not just about the price. It's about the process of going through the menstruation coupled with the price of the pad. You know what? A lot of women have dysmenorrhea, but we've normalized this and we feel like, period pain. It's just period pain. It's nothing. Go through it. Your mothers went through it. We try to belittle the pain. We try to belittle the emotions you go through. We try to combine it with work. You're going to work, you're probably driving or in a trotro or taxi, Uber, however you get to work, or you're probably walking. You're going through the pain. You've seen the videos on TikTok where men were made to try the gadgets that makes you experience period pain, and they couldn't even stand it for a second.
That's right.
So you can imagine what women go through, coupled with the price of sanitary pads. It's very annoying, it's appalling, and I can't even believe that we are having this conversation in 2023, where we think we have advanced, where we think, it's a digital world, where we think everything is supposed to be okay, and we are fighting for sanitary pads. Something as normal as menstruation is a conversation we are supposed to have just because of access and the price of sanitary pads. It's not good. It doesn't look good.
The Speaker of Parliament made a comment on the back of that some weeks ago that it was a cardinal sin after some advocacy groups picketed at Parliament where he had to pause and go out to receive the petition. Now, he made a comment in Parliament that he was going to make sure that the taxes are scrubbed off sanitary pads during the media budget review. But then the Finance Minister came to Parliament, read everything, and we never heard anything about sanitary pads. So yesterday, the Speaker again reacted to it, where he criticized the government for failure to remove taxes on sanitary pads during the media budget review. And basically reacting to it. I mean, where was he in line of things when all of that was happening? I know the Speaker is not part of planning when it comes to the budget review and all of that, but does it mean that the government does not really pay attention to issues, especially when it comes to the sanitary pads? Because this is something that has been discussed in Parliament and should have been acted on, urgently, but then it never happened.
Well, the conversation definitely continues. It's something that we are very, very keen on, of course, but we do have to wrap up on this conversation. Lily Pearl, you were just coming in. I'll let you have the final words and then we'll say goodbye.
Yes, my fear about this whole taxes scrapping thing is that it's going to be politicized, where, they'll just do it because that's what we are looking for. And then there's a whole, and then it comes back to square one. Then they can say, but we took it off. We want government to enable local production, remove taxes on imported raw materials, and increase taxes on imported finished goods of sanitary pads or tampons. That is what we are advocating for. Government shouldn't just come and say, okay, you said it's 20% tax, so we are removing it. No, government knows better than that. So we are asking that please enable local production. It is what we need now. Access is what we need now.
It's a call in the right direction. And thank you so much, Lily Pearl, for joining us this morning. Lily Pearl Baba Otu is the founder of Bridge for Equity Ghana. She joined us on Zoom this morning. So you have the final word on this one?
There's something that the Speaker of Parliament mentioned in his submission, and I want to read aloud.
Sure.
This is something that I take serious. Don't let us miss the point. I will not tax a woman, my mother, for producing me. I don't support this at all. So the state must take this matter serious.
Absolutely.
These are words from the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, and I really support his submission on that. Like Sister Lily Pearl was saying, you want to know, even if the taxes are scrapped, you want to know who will start. Even when they increase prices of petrol, like she was saying, and they reduce the price, still, the high price is what everybody is working with. Yeah. So you want to know, we don't know who would start it. But by the time you realize, even though the taxes would be scrapped, they would still be selling the products
at a high price. So we have to go to the root of the matter. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for